They try to run away like Kunta didn't want to get beat. But then my
right now we playing some music. We got some D on the line right here with Delete and Block. Here we go. Here we go.
I had to fight. I pulled her hair. I didn't want it to be. And when I got her on the ground, I ran away in the tree.
I'm gonna be interviewing her later on tonight. What's up? What's up, y'all? Thank y'all for coming on the mic with BUSMAN 4.0. We do this every Friday from 7 to 9:30 p.m. We were just on IG. I was just on Facebook Live, and we just switched over to IG Live and so forth. So definitely appreciate y'all for joining. It's Friday night, or it's Friday evening right now. About to be Friday night. We got a special guest for an early segment of On the Mic Live. TaVanni Singleton, she's a creative Expat TV, so we're gonna bring her up in a second. Before that, just want to let y'all know, if you are out this weekend, just be safe. Make sure you drop and wear that mask. Stay 6 feet apart. Definitely practice social distance and just be safe out here. You know what I mean? Other than that, it's Friday. Appreciate y'all for joining. You know what I'm saying? Make sure if you are an artist, an entrepreneur, or a business person, make sure you hit me up. I definitely can promote your business and so forth on a Friday night. If you are an artist and you would like your music played, make sure you hit me up as well. All right, so TaVanni, I see you. I'm about to send you a request. Hello. How are you?
Hey there. So I just wanted to give a shout out. Hey, Lindsay, I see you joined.
Hello. If you're joining right now, thank y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is an early episode of On the Mic Live. You know, I always do On the Mic Live at set between 7 and 9:30. But this young lady right here convinced me to do the early one. She's a busy woman, you know. How are you doing? And you know, how's everything going for you today?
So far, so good. I mean, coming towards the end of the day. Yeah, just up working on several different projects, several different things, all day, every day. Every day is pretty much the same.
Okay. How was the weather?
Finally, it's warming up a little bit. You know, I'm in Minnesota, and so we had lots of snow, and it was really cold for a while. I don't know. It's just really unfortunate. You know, people are talking about what's happening in Texas, and I understand there's so much more to it. But when they really think about it, we really shouldn't have had to. They shouldn't have had to prepare for something like this. You know, it really just obviously brings a highlight to this huge, really important issue of climate change, and how they shouldn't have had to prepare for that, because that doesn't happen down there. It shouldn't have had to happen down there. And so I don't know, there's a lot of blame to be pointing or whatever, but I really think it's another good moment to remind ourselves that climate change is real.
We're gonna go ahead and get things started. For my first question for you, TaVanni, I already said it, but what's your name? Where are you from, and what do you do?
I'm Bonnie Singleton. I'm from Minnesota, St. Paul, Minnesota, and I'm currently in Minnesota, but I actually met BUSMAN here in China when we both lived in Shanghai. I was there for 5 years when Corona hit, and I ended up just kind of suddenly back in America. And ever since then, I have started new businesses, really taking use of this time, this year of isolation and quarantine, to kind of make some new plans in life and refigure what I do. I do a lot of things, but one of the main things I do, and one I think the reasons we're talking today, is I do Expat TV. That is a new brand I just created, basically following my travels, but sharing the process on becoming an expat. So I'm a single woman with no children and a fairly healthy family at home. So I'm very free to kind of just do what I do. And I know a lot of people don't have that kind of situation. Again, whether they have kids, whether education is an issue for them. Like, I just really want to help as many people as possible find their route, because I understand that there's room for everybody out there. You don't have to be in my situation to take advantage. So that's what I'm doing with Expat TV, among many other projects that I'm working on. So that's it.
Okay. If I was somebody who did not know what expat meant, can you explain what does expat mean?
Definition of an expat, or actually expat is short for expatriate, and basically that just means someone who lives in a country outside of their native country. So if I'm American,
Okay.
I'm living anywhere else in the world, then I'm an expat. If I am Indian and I'm living anywhere else in the world, then I'm an expat.
If you're looking for a reliable junk removal service in the DMV area, call DMV Trash Junkies at 202-930-1181. So for all those who don't know, and for all my folks who might not have traveled before and so forth, I asked this question because sometimes you got to ask these hard questions that most people don't want to don't want to say or don't want to ask because they can feel like they're not knowledgeable and so forth. I know a lot of times with this new generation, I know me, when I don't know a word, I might act like I know the word and then I'll go and Google it right afterwards, figure it out, So that's for those people out there in the social media world. So an expat is a person who lives in another country. Is that correct? Is that correct, TaVanni?
A person who lives
Somebody
in a country outside of their
outside of their native country, right?
yes, outside of their home country.
All right,
From
their home countries.
yes.
The second question was what was your reasoning behind traveling?
Okay. So like I've always wanted to travel. I remember in college being very interested in switching schools or yeah, halfway through my university. I was like, I just want to be somewhere else. I want to go to a different state and finish my school somewhere else. I was
Right.
considering Atlanta and I was considering all kinds of different options. I even applied for college in University of Hawaii, Manoa. I did not get
I thought you were about to say Mexico.
it.
I was waiting for that real extreme, I didn't expect you to say that one.
It's not so extreme. I mean, I guess it would have been for me then because to think, even imagine living outside of my home country seemed like, oh, that's going to be way too expensive or way too hard or complicated. Or I don't, how am I going to do that? I barely know how to take care of myself here, And so,
And a lot of times it's not outside of all that other stuff. Sometimes it's just scary, the unknowing,
right.
knowing like what rights you have, how people operate in different countries and so forth, the stereotypes that we get about different countries and so forth.
Right.
So it's a lot of scare tactics
Right.
that a lot of people deal with when it comes to traveling, whether you are on vacation or you're there for a long term, or you're there for to live as or work as a career goal. So definitely if you are someone who likes to travel, traveling abroad is definitely a great option to consider. I remember talking to someone before, and it's like, I don't really know if I want to travel as far as like to live and so forth. But what I told him, I said, like, you haven't even traveled like as far as to like vacation, So because you haven't took the time to do that, you really don't have any true understanding of what it is to travel outside of what someone has told you or what you've seen on TV or social media and so forth. So like, even if you consider, like, you think like, oh man, one day I want to move out to let's just say, for example, Africa, and said, oh, I want to move to let me see, let's see, West Ghana or something like that. So I say I want to move out there. But instead of saying, oh, let's go ahead and make that big move, just go out there and travel. Just go and visit. Go out there for 3 weeks or so and see how the environment is, see how the people is, and so forth. And then that'll give you a real life perspective of the area in which you are interested in. So definitely just stuff to think about, if you are considering traveling. TaVanni, you decided to travel. You said you was thinking about going to Atlanta. So you was definitely looking at other areas and within the states before you decided to make that jump overseas.
Definitely. I did some traveling by myself before I left America.
Okay.
I did end up visiting Atlanta and just by myself because, it's one of those girls' trips there. Everyone was supposed to get their stuff together, but then, of course, nobody got their stuff together. And I had my stuff together. So I was like, well, I guess whatever. I'm go by myself. And I actually had a great time. I met up with some high school friends that had moved down there. So That was fine. I traveled to Chattanooga because I was considering university there, grad school,
Okay.
or just somewhere in the area. I was just looking around at the programs. They had a program I was interested in. And so that was fun. It was actually my first time traveling solo. And then that last year, before I left, I ended up taking a few road trips with my friends, which was really great. And I realized, good old fashioned American road trip, nothing like it. But no, the reason I decided to leave was, honestly, it was a combination of many things, but they all kind of dominoed into the final, I would say, straw.
Okay.
Whereas, and this is why I'm so understanding of so many people's different backgrounds and past and decisions and things that they've done to lead them to wherever they are now. And it's like, wherever you are, if you're interested in making a change and doing some different stuff, then I'm here to assist with that. But I actually had just gotten out of a really bad relationship that landed me with a criminal record where I lost job opportunities. And this was after 2008. I graduated in 2008 when job opportunities were not just readily available. So
Right.
when I started to lose opportunities because of this last relationship I had, and it wasn't even it was like, what was it? At the end of the day, it turned out to be obstruction, like, or disorderly conduct or something. The same thing they give protesters, just to give them a charge, just to convict them with something, so that the judge,
Right.
they've gotten 78% conviction rate. That's what they're referring to, and in addition to other more serious things. But either way, that weak ass record was taking away opportunity way after the relationship and that situation had been over.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like, at that point, I'm losing opportunity, and I have no reason to believe that I won't continue to lose opportunity because this is a fairly fresh record.
Right.
Relationship is over, so I'm emotional about that, right? And someone said to me, "Hey, have you ever heard of the JET program?" And I'm Japanese English teacher. Interesting. And so I looked up information on teaching English abroad and decided to go somewhere in Asia. I originally wanted to go to Brazil, but I saw that they didn't pay very well. And so
Okay.
Asia instead, and that's how I ended up in Thailand. And I figured, hey, I'm a server. I'm serving tables. I'm doing events. I have my own business. I'm doing events here, and that was fun. That was great. But I wanted to do
Oh, you
something
good?
more, and I really wanted to do just something else, something bigger. I wanted to do what I was doing, but bigger. Either way, I decided I wanted to leave the country and ended up in Thailand for about 2 years, and one in some over a year. I'm like 18. I don't even know how many months. Either way, I was in Thailand for a while, and then I ended up moving to China, where I actually met you fairly quickly after I moved to China. When I moved to China,
Well,
I would say like 2 months,
so
3 months before I met you.
within 2 months
Mm-hmm.
from the time you moved from Thailand.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So before we go there to China, you had three places you were considering. I mean, you had other ones probably, but out of the three, you have Georgia,
Oh,
Br-
no.
Brazil.
There was more than that. No. It always changes, right? It's always different. It depends on what's happening, what's popping there. I went to it in Atlanta and decided.
That's why I said that, because it sounded like the areas that you were talking about, these are still like high populated areas, like as far as like entertainment, like that has things, there's a lot of things that's going on within these places. So like it seemed like your areas, were you looking for like, were you searching for like areas that were like um not only not only good for you as a career wise, but you also looking for like social life, like a place that was a little bit more booming than maybe Minnesota, right?
I'll have you know, Minnesota is cracking. So like,
Oh, okay.
um,
My bad,
it's
my bad.
it's not about that. I come from, what is this, like a middle-sized city, or the Twin City?
Uh,
So it's not a small town, but it's not a huge city.
right.
So it's not New York. It's not Shanghai.
Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that one.
Yeah.
All right, so I got something. I got something for you, TaVanni. I want to make sure and see, like, what inspired you. If you can go back to, I don't want to say, I don't want to say childhood yet, but like, what initially what was your first reasoning for wanting to travel?